She's the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York. Follow her voice, a straight dog is nice. She's the pushy broad from the Bronx, oh yeah. Don't be surprised if you wanna listen twice. Make decisions, find the right choice. Know yourself better, find your own voice. It's okay if you need help today, cause everybody needs a little push. From the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York.
Welcome, Transformation Talk Network listeners. My name is Ellen Stewart, and I am the pushy broad from the Bronx. Welcome to my show, Recovery Recharged, where we share advice and support from experts in addiction and recovery and life. I am so excited to have this guest with us today because I cannot wait to talk about what he is an expert in. This show is about discovering your passions and why living your passion is so important. And we're going to talk to Peter Langlois today about the passion test and what you might be amazed to uncover. So let me tell you a little bit about Peter. He comes to us today from a career as an epidemiologist with the state of Texas Health Department. So this is a big career change for him. About 10 years ago, Peter was invited to try a 6-week online course to identify one's purpose in life. It included a 1-hour session with a certified passion test facilitator. And what happened? Peter loved the clarity that came with that, so much so that he jumped on the invite to apply for certification himself, which he completed in 2015. He then set up a business to take people through the passion test, either in workshops or in one-on-one sessions. So I cannot wait to hear from Peter. So hold on to your seats. Pushy Broad from the Bronx and Recovery Recharged is very proud to have Peter Langlois with us this morning. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning, Ellen. I'm doing fantastically. And thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really excited.
I'm really glad. So tell us, oh my goodness, first of all, what is the passion test? How would you describe it in an elevator speech?
The passion test is a simple, powerful way to clarify what's most important to you and then align your life with that. And I would also like to add that we typically think of passions as those things that bring your life joy and meaning.
Okay, so passion can mean many things to many people, right? When I think of passion, I think of a really good Hallmark movie, or I think of something steamy on, on Hulu or Apple or HBO. So passion can mean many things to many people. How do you use the term passion?
Well, I think in the broad idea of anything that brings your life joy and meaning, you actually touched on some ways that can manifest in someone's life. So it can be watching a great movie together with a friend or a romantic partner. It can be bringing change to lots of people. It can be so many different things to so many different people. And that's one of the cool things that everyone gets to determine what their own passions are.
So let's go back to you a little bit. Okay. You came from a career as an epidemiologist, right?
Yes.
You go to this seminar, and what happens? What comes over you? How does this come about?
So this online course lasted 6 weeks on how to find life purpose. And one of those weeks was actually a 1-hour session with a certified passion test facilitator. And I just came out of that going, I've loved my job as an epidemiologist and I want to do it for a while. But in my spare time, this really fits the bill. This gives me clarity on what I want. This gives me ideas on how to get there. And so I just pursued that. from that day forward.
So, what actually did the passion test tell you about what your goals were and what your passions were? What did it tell you specifically?
Well, it really helped me clarify my top 5 passions. It gave me some tools on how to get there. And it gave me some other ideas to work with. And I love working with ideas. And one was the passion test formula, uh, and other things like secrets and what to do when life gets in the way and stuff like that.
So, give us an example of one or two passions. You said the 5 passions that were important to you. Give us an idea of one or two things that it actually said. Be specific.
Of course. So actually, my top 5 passions are exploring exciting new ideas, traveling to interesting places, spending quality time with people I like, doing something creative, and enjoying excellent physical and mental health. This or something better.
Wow. Okay. So you went out there, and how soon afterwards did you decide to jump on the bandwagon and be a person involved with taking people through the passion test?
So to be perfectly honest, I tried right away. So I had a couple of friends who said, "Oh, I'm thinking of retiring, but I don't know what to do with my life." And I would go, "Wow, I have the best thing for you. It's called the passion test." And I would try to take them through it with kind of intermediate results. One person liked it, one person thought it was, one person thought it was okay. And then out of the blue, about 2 months later, I got this email saying, "Hey, have you ever thought about being a certified passion test facilitator?" And I thought, well, no, I haven't, but why not? And so I applied to the program, got accepted, and went through the training.
Unbelievable. So, why do you think living your passion is so important?
For me, it helps me jump out of bed every morning, really looking forward to the new day. Also, I think forward, oh, maybe 50 or 60 years when I'm on my deathbed. And I really want to think, wow, that was a good gig. And the final reason is that I agree with the creator of the passion test in thinking that clarifying one's passions can really give them an idea about their purpose in life.
So, this is all based on a book, right? The passion test. How did this come about? Give us a background.
So, one of the 2 authors of the book, Janet Bray Atwood, was unhappy in her career, and she was attending a career seminar kind of workshop. And the leader presented the results of a survey that found that of the 100 most successful people in America who were surveyed, all of them, without fail, said that they had accomplished the 5 most important things for their career. And so Janet thought, wow, if that applies to careers, maybe I can apply it not only to my career, but to everything in my life. And so she thought about it a bit, did some of her own personal research, came up with the idea behind the passion test, and wrote a book about it.
So, what exactly can you tell us what the passion test formula is? Can you give us an example?
Sure. And what I'd like to do is combine the formula with an example, if I may. And so many years ago, I was happily driving my Honda Civic, and it started making the sound like clunk, clunk, clunk every time I wanted to turn left. And I thought, well, that can't be good. And so I took it into the shop, and they gave me a repair estimate that was way more than the car itself was worth. So I have to admit, I know very little about cars. And I thought, well, if I want to get a new car, I better go online and find the most reliable car that's out there. And after a bit of research, I discovered that the most reliable car was no longer the Honda Civic. Big surprise to me, but it was the Mazda 3. And I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's reliable, but what does it really look like? I mean, those pictures on the internet are like about this big, right? And so I wanted to see it in different lighting and situations and stuff like that. So that brings us to the first step of the passion test formula. Consciously stating what you choose to create in your life is the first step to manifesting it. So my intention was to see more Mazda 3s around in different places. The second step of the passion test formula is attention. That which we put our attention on grows stronger in our life. And my attention was certainly focused on my intention because every time I wanted to turn left, I'd hear this clunk, clunk, clunk. And you know, Ellen, the fascinating thing I discovered is that in most cities, you can turn right 3 times and you end up going left. And then the last step in the passion test is no tension. And that is to focus on what you want, not so much on how to get it, because that often takes care of itself. And you know what? In the week following that, it seemed like every third car on the road was a Mazda 3. I mean, it was great. And so that's the passion test formula: intention, attention, and no tension.
So now you're driving a Mazda 3?
I do. I still have it 6 years later.
So all of the Honda Civic people are probably going to have an argument with you, but if their intention is to drive a Honda Civic, then they'll start seeing that as well. So I understand. I absolutely understand. Okay. So if people decide that they want to attend a workshop, is that how that works? They say they want to be involved in the passion test because they want to be able to decide what the passions are in their life, correct? How does it work if they want to get involved? How do they find you and what would they have to do?
Well, certainly if they're in the Austin area, they're totally welcome to contact me personally. And I'd be happy to either take them through a workshop or a couple of one-on-one sessions. But if they live elsewhere, which I suspect many of your listeners actually do, what I would suggest is probably Google or look on their browser for the passion test. That will bring them to the website of the online passion test organization. And they have several online programs there where they can go through the passion test, or they can contact the organization and be given contact information for anyone in the local area who is a certified passion test facilitator.
Are there different kinds of tests depending upon the area that you want to work on? We said before, maybe personal development or career or personality or relationships. Are there different passion tests for each of these things?
No, it's all one passion test, actually. And that can lead to all these different ideas and different passions, because, of course, the passions vary depending on the person. And each person can have many different types of passions that are really important to them.
Well, I mean, it sounds really terrific, but I know that sometimes people find it hard or they don't understand or they get confused. What do folks do when life gets in the way of them living their passions and the ones that they've identified? What happens then?
Sure. So that's all part of passion test workshops or one-on-one training, is learning some techniques to use when, exactly as you say, life gets in the way. One example of that, excuse me, is something called The Work by Byron Katie. And that's a written meditation that helps you really disentangle or remove the power from beliefs that limit you in getting what you want. Another idea is the expansion process. And that's a multi-step process to take you from feeling contracted, or really withdrawn from life, sad or depressed, into a more expansive situation where you feel better and you want to interact with life in the world more. And then there are some other very, very simple techniques like the appreciation game. I mean, am totally willing to share with you that something I've struggled with a lot in my life is that I'm not good enough. I've often felt like I'm not smart enough, or I'm not fast enough, or not popular enough, things like that.
So how did the passion test help you through that?
Well, the appreciation game is something I play with myself many evenings where I'm falling asleep and I simply think of 5 things about myself or what I did that day that I appreciate. And they can be major things like, oh, I am really proud that I finished that report. Or they can be really small, like, hey, I really appreciate the fact that I held the door open for that elderly person. And so that really helps too. Then we also offer a couple of tools that help people keep their attention on the passions that they have identified in working with us. So one might be a vision board, which many of your listeners may have heard of. Another one is the 100th birthday speech. So we invite folks to write a speech that their best friend is going to say at a big party on their 100th birthday about what an awesome life they've created by following their passions.
Oh, I love that. Since I just celebrated a birthday, I think that's fantastic. I think I'm going to have that's a great conversation situation, like at Thanksgiving, right? Somebody can say, "All right, so I'm going to say something about you, on your 100th birthday." That's fantastic. That's really, really good. So, who do you think can benefit from the passion test? What's the normal? Is there an age group? Is there a gender? What do you think?
Well, of course, as a passion test facilitator, I'm biased, right? And I tend to think almost anyone can benefit from it. But in my experience, I tend to have found 3 groups of people who are most likely to benefit from it. The first group is those people who've recently undergone a major life transition, such as retirement, moving to a new city, or possibly even people who are starting into recovery. And they're asking, hey, I would like some more direction on what to do, where to go, and how to get it. A second group of people is those people who feel stuck, like, oh, they're not happy with their lives and not sure what to do about it. This gives them direction as well. And the third group is people who have so many passions and so many ideas that they're just scattered, going like a ping pong ball all around. And this helps give them focus on their top 5 passions.
That's fantastic. I really think you've said some very interesting things here, and all of my listeners in recovery should understand that sometimes we need direction. And this seems to be a really great way to do this. Is this affordable for everybody? Can everybody participate?
I guess it depends on how you define affordability, but generally, at least what I charge, which is, I believe, standard, is $75 to participate in a workshop and $195 to participate in the 2 one-on-one sessions.
And that's extremely reasonable, especially in today's world. There's no question about it. So tell us again, we can find the passion test online or we can find you. Do you do virtual sessions?
I tend to prefer one-on-one sessions, partly for selfish reasons. One is that it's much easier to see facial expressions when people are thinking about different potential passions and get clues that way. But another reason is just that I really enjoy the in-person interaction more. So that's entirely selfish. But
I see. I understand. Well, I'm sure that you wouldn't turn clients away either. So there are ways to go about this to find Peter Langlois and the passion test. And the work that you do or the work in general, is it coaching? Do you actually coach people when you've interpreted this test?
I coach people, yes, but I wouldn't consider myself to be a life coach. A life coach typically partners with someone for weeks to years and uses a wide array of tools, whereas I tend to work with people for 3 or 4 hours and I focus on one tool, the passion test, and some additional techniques to help make those passions happen.
So, how long have you been doing this now?
So I was certified in 2015, so for about 9 years.
And is this your exclusive profession now?
Um, well, I guess it is, although I also serve on the board of a national nonprofit, and I work with that nonprofit in work groups and stuff like that. And I do a lot of stuff on the side as well. But I guess it's my only profession if you define it that way.
Well, you seem to be a very uplifting and positive individual, and it's very nice that you can bring this to that situation. So, do you think, and there are some things you said before that I kind of want to go back to because you talked about the different ways. So, explain to us again the three major things you said: attention, retention. Say it again.
Very close. Intention, attention, and no tension.
No tension, meaning no stress, correct? No
No
tension.
stress.
Okay,
Yes.
so the intention meaning that I'm
Consciously.
going to set my intention, right, for something. This is what I want. This is what I want to put out into the universe. Yes.
Yes. And you consciously state that either to yourself or to someone else.
Give us an example of that. And let's get away from the Mazdas. But let's talk about something else. Like I want to manifest the right career intention. So what would that be?
Yeah, you may find that you get email invitations to different career seminars, or you may be more alert to opportunities that come up in your feeds or your email that maybe just didn't seem to be important before.
I understand. Okay. So it's really drawing that positive energy to you. And it's really interesting to know that with all of the work that we do and all of the guests that I've had, either with the passion test or setting intention or positive energy or affirmations, that everybody is gratefully saying the same thing and showing us different ways to do it. But the bottom line is you can attest to the fact that the passion test works, correct?
Absolutely. I'm astonished by some of the things that came up, especially in that first year. And sometimes my clients get back to me, and I'm just so tickled when I hear some of the changes in their life.
Wow, that's really amazing. Can you give us some examples of some of those changes without naming names?
Someone felt she was stuck and not able to meet the right people. And suddenly she was meeting them all over the place. It was so weird.
So
Um,
have you heard about relationships and dating and marriage through this as well?
Absolutely. If that's one of your top five passions, then absolutely this can work for that.
So you go to the passion test or you get in touch with Peter and we'll put his information on the lower third here. You'll be able to see it. And the passion test, the Austin passion test will give you an idea of how to set your intentions and to follow through. And you use this for career. Did you use this for anything else, Peter, for yourself personally?
Personally, I wanted to spend more quality time with people I enjoy, and that's actually my third passion. And I find now I'm turning down invitations left and right. And not to brag at all. I think it's not anything about me personally, but it's just that I'm more open to it now. And by making decisions to follow that passion, I make more opportunities happen or am more attuned to the new opportunities that have always been there.
So, what are the advantages of identifying your passions and living them? What are the advantages?
Well, what I find again is the reasons for identifying my passions, which make me want to get up out of bed in the morning. I'm more comfortable that when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to look back and go, "Wow, that was pretty good." And finally, I'm getting way more clear on my purpose in life, which is to help people find their passions and live their best lives.
It's a wonderful thing when we do things that we really love and that we really care about. My passion is to be the pushy broad from the Bronx and help as many people as I can, and to bring all of that to my recovery coaching to help people that are struggling or help people that want to continue to do the right thing. And also this giving service, right? Giving back like you give back. Okay. So tell us again where we can find the passion test.
They're welcome to contact me directly, or if they simply go online and in their browser enter Passion Test, it will take them to the International Passion Test website, and that will have many online opportunities for them, such as taking the Passion Test itself and other connections to people.
Peter, thank you so much for being with us today. The Passion Test, Peter Langlois, please go online to find it. This is Ellen Stewart, the Pushy Broad from the Bronx. If you want a session with me, please go to my website, pushybroadfromthebronx.com, or call me at 800-889-1757. Go out and find your passion. Go out and take the Passion Test. And I'll see you next time. This is Ellen Stewart, the Pushy Broad from the Bronx, saying thanks for listening. And remember, everybody needs a little push.
From the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York.